Good evening, everybody. This is Gardening Warrior Q, and today we are in the Q kitchen. Haven't been here for a while. What are we making? Well, I've got 6 bell peppers. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. 5 bell peppers. Because I apparently forgot to cut one. I'll remedy that in just a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that other pepper, and I'll go ahead and show you how I do that. So the first thing I did, of course, is wash the pepper. And now I have cut a hole in the lid of the pepper. My kids cannot eat an entire pepper, so I cut them in half. But first, I want to save all those seeds. Those are perfectly wonderful seeds. See how nice and ripe that is? And I'm going to scoop the rest of those out in just a minute. So now we've got the beautifully ripened red pepper, and its wonderful seeds are going to go in my little seed collection. I get out as much as I can, and I leave some of them in there because it just adds to the flavor. It's not a big deal. But you want to get as many out as you can. Because I like to save seeds. It's just what I like to do. So the other ones had this thicker membrane here. I like to add that to the meat. And then we're just going to get the rest of those seeds out, as many as you can. Which is kind of hard to do with one hand. Alright, so now the rest of the ingredients we're putting in there are already cooked. So we're going to want to get these a little soft. To do that, I put them in my baking dish. And I put like maybe a cup of water in there. I try to get some of the water inside the peppers themselves as well. We haven't done those yet. But see how they got a little bit of water in them? And this will help soften them. Now, I'm going to put them in a 375 degree oven for 20 minutes. I'm going to put 22 on here because I have to still put the aluminum foil on it. Because what you want it to do is steam them. Alright, now, you want that aluminum foil on there as tight as you can get it. Make sure you crinkle around any edges like this. Get it good and tight. Now we're going to put it in the oven. 20 minutes. Alright, now earlier I made some very tasty Salisbury steaks. I know they look like hamburgers. Those are hamburgers. They are not seasoned as much as my Salisbury steaks. And then I used the drippings from the Salisbury steak, which are in the freezer, by the way. There's some in the fridge, but I'm about to make more too. And this is my homemade, very tasty, rich gravy for my Salisbury steak. I have also been known to put that gravy on top of my stuffed peppers. Okay, now, this right here is Italian seasoned Alfredo beef. And it's actually made with Alfredo sauce, 6 ounces of Alfredo sauce in a jar, and then I added another 6 ounces of buttermilk, a tablespoon of granuled garlic, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, and a teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt, a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, and a teaspoon and a half of sea seasonings, organic kelp granules. These do not add that much flavor, but they add iodine, which you need. And I need more because I have a non-working thyroid and have to take thyroid medication. So that just helps me out. But before it looked like this, it looked like that. It's been marinating in that Alfredo sauce and buttermilk mix for 3 days. It tastes so good. I just tasted some of it. This is going to be made into hamburgers. That's what that's for. Or maybe more Salisbury steak. Who knows? This right here is a mix of spinach that I harvested from my community garden, and mushrooms, which I bought from the store. Actually, these mushrooms came either from Azure Standard or Misfits Market. I can't remember. They were frozen. And then there's more of the green, or more of the red, yellow, and orange peppers in there. And I sauteed this. This is half of the mix that I sauteed because my daughter ate the other half on her Salisbury steak with the gravy. And it was very good, she tells me. So, that's going to go in that meat mix. And I've got to make some rice. And then I'm going to put it into my peppers. And whatever's left over, I'll just have an extra mix to put with rice or anything like that. So, let's get the rice started. Alright, so after being in the oven for 20 minutes on 375, you see that they're mostly translucent and see-through. That's what you want. Now we're going to dump the water out of this. And I'm just going to transfer them to the other container. I'm just dumping the water out of it. Like I said, those seeds are perfectly fine to be in there. Now, if these were hot peppers, I'd definitely be removing those seeds. But they're not. They're soft, but they're still very firm. And that's what you want. So now I'm going to use this water, pour it up to make the rice. Except maybe not that. There we go. So that gave me a little over 2 cups, 2.5 cups of this water. And I'm not worried about those seeds. They're not going to bother the rice none. Now I'm going to take the peppers from this tray and put them into that tray. Emptying the water again. There's really no reason to waste this water. It's perfectly good water. Now we're going to put this water into the measuring cup. All right, so that got me just a little under 4 cups of water. So that's good for 2 batches of my rice. So I now have 2 cups of water, 1 cup of rice, and I've got it on high to get it to boil, and then we're going to turn it down to simmer and let it cover it. All right, so after simmering for 20 minutes on low, we have some beautiful rice. It didn't burn, it's not sticky, and it's not funky. So we're going to put half of these vegetables into this rice. All right, so half of those veggies are in that rice, and now we're going to put approximately 1.5 cups of the Italian Alfredo meat mix in here as well. All right, so now we've got all of the peppers. Well, not all the peppers because Ellie wanted some separate. But we've got all of the peppers that I'm going to cook into my dish. And I put approximately a teaspoon of water in the bottom because you don't want them to dry out. And for the first 15 minutes, it's 375 still. For the first 15 minutes, we're going to keep this covered while we cook it. And again, make sure it's nice and tight because you want to create like a little vent in there and a little pepper sauna. And now that it's nicely covered and tight, we're going to stick it back in the oven for 15 minutes. I made it somewhat bland so that the other girls would eat it. So, of course, Ellie's reaching for... What you got there, Ellie?
Saffron.
You go what?
Saffron.
You gonna do what? What you gonna do?
Seasoning.
And what is it?
Seasoning.
Oh, no, tell me. What you gonna do?
Saffron.
You better not slap your mama. Your mama made that for you.
Yes.
You better close that, too. And now she's gonna taste it.
They put too much.
Oh, Lord.
No.
She couldn't wait till the peppers were the rest of the way cooked.
Did they have to be?
Obviously not. Are you gonna eat the stuffing, too?
Yes.
You might want to mix that up. That's a bit much. It's good?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're going to finish actually cooking these so that the peppers are done. And I'll come back in 20 minutes. Those are more peppers. Of course you do.
Can I have them?
I guess.
Or do you want them?
No, you can eat them. At least it's healthy. All right, I'll be back in 15 minutes. All right, so now our peppers have been in the oven for 20 minutes. I can't remember if it was 15 or 20 at this point. I think it was 15. I take that back. Sorry about that. It's been a very long day. And they were covered. But now we're going to scoop. This is actually shredded sharp cheddar, shredded mild cheddar, and the white cheese that you may see sprinkled in there is shredded, actually crumbled, extra sharp white cheddar. And this blend is absolutely magnificent. This is what I use on my pimento, or in my pimento cheese, And I just pretty much use it for everything that I put shredded cheese on. And it was shredded by hand. I believe Savannah did this one. And I'll put my friend Savannah's link down below so you can go check her out and see what she's been up to. I know she made a bunch of homemade food yesterday, but I'm not sure if she actually got to film it or not. I don't remember her saying if she did today or not. All right, so we are now going to put, that's about a tablespoon on each one. And what I did, I don't know if you noticed, but I pushed down to make like a little hole and then put the cheese on there. And there is still a little bit of water down there. But I'm going to add just a little bit more because I don't want them to get too hard. And we want that cheese to melt. So we're going to put them in the 375 degree oven for approximately another 15 minutes until the cheese is nice and gooey. And then we're going to take them out. I don't know if that recorded or not, but what I did was I put a tablespoon of the sharp, mild, and extra sharp cheddar cheese that has all been, they were in blocks and they were hand shredded. And I've got to get this back in the fridge because it's real cheese. It's not that, store shredded stuff that God only knows what's got in it. But it's greasy and it gives my kids tummy ache. So I have people shred mine for me. And then I put it back in the oven with about another tablespoon of water with the cheese on it. It's already starting to melt, 375. And I'm going to leave it in there for about 15 minutes. And by then, it should be nice and melty. And if I don't get this cheese back in the fridge, it's going to be really melty. So, I'll see you back here in about 15 minutes. Ah, yes. They are done. Don't they look glorious? So I'm going to let these sit for about 10 minutes before I take them out of the pan and serve them. I'm actually not serving them tonight because it's 9:30 at night, but I will let them cool and I will be putting them into my prep containers. That one's got a little bit of water going on with it. So we're going to have to, not water, it's dried up water from my dishwasher. So I'll wipe that off before I put 2 of each of these, maybe 4. I think I'll put 4 in each. And it won't be a single serve. It'll be, 1 or 2 in each one. 1 or 2 meals in each one. Excuse me, 2 or 3 meals in each container. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm going to let these cool first because I don't want to move them just yet. I want to let them have time to set before I try to move them. And I might just let them cool in this pan before I put them in here. Who knows? Anyways, after 10 minutes, you can serve yours. And I'll put the recipe down below. Y'all have a great night, and I really hope you enjoyed watching this. This might be a premiere, so if it is, feel free to say goodnight to your friends, and thank you so much for coming and watching me cook. This is just one of the numerous meals I'm cooking tonight. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you next time. Bye.